Biafran Liberation Army (BLA) forces conducted a surprise operation at illegal police and army checkpoints in Isuofia, Anambra state, which also happens to be Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo's hometown, dismantling the checkpoints and forcing officers to flee. The Biafran Liberation Army had previously issued warnings to Nigerian security operatives to vacate the roads, claiming the checkpoints were illegal and oppressive, but after non-compliance, they acted forcefully. Meanwhile, a critic has strongly supports Biafra's secession, claiming Nigeria is a failed, corrupt state with no future for southeastern youths, who are allegedly being detained or killed unjustly. The critic celebrates the release of Simon Ekpa's associates in Finland, accusing the Nigerian government of fabricating terrorism charges without evidence and being embarrassed internationally. Nigerian Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is heavily criticized for submitting unprovable allegations against Biafran activists abroad and failing to defend them in foreign courts. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is labeled the most corrupt in Nigeria's history, accused of economic failure, human rights violations, and trying to silence dissent through intimidation. The Nigerian government is accused of kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu illegally from Kenya and failing for years to present credible evidence against him while keeping him in prolonged detention. The critic rejects Nigerian citizenship, proudly identifying as a member of the indigenous people of Biafra, ipob, and condemns Nigeria's labeling of ipob as a terrorist organization. Finland's warning to its citizens against traveling to Nigeria is cited as proof of the country's instability. The critic urges international bodies to act against Nigeria's actions. He ends with praise for Biafran leaders like Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu, claiming that the rededication of Biafra is unstoppable, and Nigeria will be defeated legally and morally on the world stage. The incident in Isuofia, Anambra state, has sent shockwaves through Nigeria, not just because of the attack itself, but due to the broader political and emotional implications it carries. This unfolding event tells a story of unrest, resistance, and rising tensions in southeastern Nigeria, with the Biafran Liberation Army taking a direct stand against what they label as oppressive actions by the Nigerian government and its security agencies. The attack on military checkpoints and the escape of soldiers from their posts in a town as symbolic as Isuofia, home to the current governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, adds fuel to an already burning fire of political and ethnic tension in the region. Let's unpack what really happened, why it happened, who is involved, and what it all means not only for Anambra state, but for the broader Nigerian nation and the ongoing Biafran secessionist movement. The attack was not a random act of violence. It was a calculated operation. According to multiple sources and eyewitnesses on the ground, the Biafran Liberation Army targeted specific checkpoints they deemed to be illegal. These checkpoints, manned by members of the Nigerian police force and the Nigerian army, were reportedly extorting money from citizens, harassing travelers, and acting beyond the scope of their constitutional duties. The Biafran Liberation Army had reportedly issued warnings to these officers, demanding that the checkpoints be removed, but their demands were ignored. On the day of the attack, the Biafran Liberation Army launched what some are calling a cleanup operation. The operation involved storming the checkpoints, scattering the officers on duty, and clearing the area of all vehicles and structures associated with the roadblocks. Videos from the scene show the aftermath: abandoned checkpoints, burnt or deserted vehicles, and people running in fear. Witnesses say many security operatives fled without even attempting to engage with the attackers, overwhelmed by both the surprise and scale of the action. What adds an extra layer of drama and symbolism to this story is the location, Isuofia. On the day of the attack, the Biafran Liberation Army launched what some are calling a cleanup operation. The operation involved storming the checkpoints, scattering the officers on duty, and clearing the area of all vehicles and structures associated with the roadblocks. Videos from the scene show the aftermath: abandoned checkpoints, burnt or deserted vehicles, and people running in fear. Witnesses say many security operatives fled without even attempting to engage with the attackers, overwhelmed by both the surprise and scale of the action. What adds an extra layer of drama and symbolism to this story is the location, Isuofia. This is not just any town in Anambra state. It is the hometown of Charles Chukwuma Soludo, the current governor of Anambra state and a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. For an operation of this nature to take place in the governor's hometown sends a clear message. It is perceived as both a challenge to state authority and a demonstration of how deeply the Biafran sentiment has rooted itself, even in places of political significance. Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo has long presented himself as a stabilizing force in Anambra, a technocrat-turned-politician who believes in reform and development. But what happened in Isuofia has reportedly left him in visible distress. According to people close to the matter, he was seen in tears, heartbroken not just by the violence, but by what it represents: the breakdown of trust between the government and its people, and the growing belief among some Southeasterners that secession is the only path forward. This event is not occurring in a vacuum. It is part of a wider, emotionally charged and historically rooted struggle. The Biafran movement has been building momentum again in recent years, largely led by the indigenous people of Biafra, ipob, and its more militant offshoots like the Biafran Liberation Army. Their grievances stem from a sense of systemic marginalization, historical trauma dating back to the Biafran War of the late 1960s, and ongoing human rights abuses they say are being carried out by the Nigerian state. One of the loudest voices in this narrative is that of Simon Kpai, a Biafran separatist activist currently based in Finland. Simon Kpai, often considered a prime leader among diaspora Biafrans, has been vocal about his position. Nigeria, in his view, is a failed state that offers no future for Southeastern youth. Recently, 4 of his associates were arrested in Finland, accused of terrorism-related activities allegedly linked to Nigerian complaints and evidence. But the Finnish authorities released them due to a lack of substantial evidence, clearing their names from any watch lists. This development embarrassed the Nigerian government, according to critics, and was used as proof that the state fabricates charges to suppress dissent. One critic, whose passionate video commentary has been circulating widely online, didn't hold back in his condemnation of Nigerian authorities. He described the Nigerian Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, as ineffective and dishonest, accusing him of submitting unsubstantiated allegations against Biafran activists abroad, but refusing to defend them in international courts. The same critic accused the government of operating with fear and incompetence, hiding behind gunfire and propaganda while real governance and justice are neglected. This critic was especially scathing in his assessment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. He described it as the most corrupt government in Nigerian history, one that not only failed to manage the economy, but also routinely violated human rights and stifled freedom of speech. He claimed the administration uses state power to silence opposition and to label dissidents as terrorists. In his view, This government does not seek unity, only domination. The case of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of IPOB, was also central to his argument. He expressed deep anger at the Nigerian government's continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, despite multiple court rulings calling for his release and the international controversy surrounding his extradition from Kenya, an act many legal experts have labeled as extraordinary rendition, which is illegal under international law. Years have passed, and no verifiable charges have stuck. Yet Nnamdi Kanu remains in detention, his case stalled in what many call a deliberate delay of justice. The critic went on to express a deeply personal belief. He no longer considers himself a Nigerian. He identifies solely as a Biafran and a proud member of IPOB. He argued that the Nigerian government's labeling of IPOB as a terrorist organization is not just unfair, it is dangerous. It criminalizes a people and their identity. He challenged viewers to think critically. Where in the world have the Igbo people ever been known for terrorism? On the contrary, he said, they are known for business acumen, resilience, and peaceful living. He also pointed to warnings issued by Finland to its citizens not to travel to Nigeria due to high levels of violence, instability, and poverty as proof that Nigeria is not functioning as a secure state. For him, this is further evidence that the country has failed its people. He asked how Nigeria could still call itself the giant of Africa when it can't provide basic services like electricity or education, when hunger and insecurity define everyday life, and when corruption is endemic from top to bottom. He criticized how Nigerian security forces reintegrate repentant terrorists into the military, only to send them to the southeast, accusing them of committing atrocities under state cover. This, he said, is the real terrorism, not IPOB members demanding self-determination, but a state apparatus that uses brute force against its own citizens. Despite the heavy accusations and painful realities described, there was a strong sense of hope and determination. The speaker praised Biafran leaders such as Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu, stating their leadership and sacrifices have reinvigorated the movement. He believes Biafra's rededication is not only a spiritual revival, but a political one that will eventually gain international recognition. He emphasized that Nigeria will lose both legally and morally in the international community because it is on the wrong side of history. Toward the end of the statement, he urged fellow Biafrans and sympathizers around the world to continue advocating for their cause. He called on the international community to take action against Nigeria for violating human rights and suppressing lawful agitation. He thanked supporters around the world and especially expressed gratitude to Finnish authorities for upholding justice and refusing to be manipulated by the Nigerian government. The case of Simon Ekpa, he said, would not be the last. He predicted that the international legal system would eventually turn its eye to the case of Nnamdi Kanu and that Nigeria would be held accountable. He ended by offering prayers for Biafran leaders and encouraging his fellow Biafrans to stay strong, united, and committed. This narrative reveals a deeply divided Nigeria, one where faith in national unity is eroding in some regions, and where people feel they are left with no option but to pursue a separate identity. It also reveals the limitations of force and suppression as tools for governance. When citizens no longer believe in the legitimacy of the state, when justice is delayed or denied, and when dissent is criminalized, people will seek alternatives, even if those alternatives are revolutionary. The attack in Isuofia may be a symptom, but the underlying illness is a long-standing national crisis. What happens next, whether through dialogue, repression, or further escalation, will determine the fate not just of Biafra, but of Nigeria as a whole. What's clear is this: the status quo is unsustainable, and the calls for change are only growing louder. The recent Isuofia operation by the Biafran Liberation Army, BLA, marks a significant tactical shift from sporadic attacks to organized, ideological, and highly symbolic operations. Unlike previous incidents that were often dismissed as random acts of criminality or attributed to unknown gunmen, this operation was carefully choreographed. It had clear objectives: to dismantle state infrastructure seen as oppressive, to expose the weakness of the Nigerian security forces, and to communicate a political message. Biafra is no longer merely a dream. It is an organized resistance. What makes this event particularly alarming to the federal government is not just the brazenness of the action, but its sophistication. Eyewitnesses report that the attackers communicated via encrypted radio frequencies, wore uniform-style outfits bearing Biafran insignias, and executed their mission with military precision.
Hey, Chineke mekwele ndị polisi a na-ebe ebere. Look, come on, no police may land. Okay, I say, boy, women land. Should be nobody woman. Sorry, one more. Sorry. But brother. Hey, how the have you? How do you? So we are like this. Gastre, te buka. Come on, where is it, Weber? What do you look at now? What do you look at there? What do you look at there? Brother ended. Onya woye jaka, onya woye ba ka bolo onya ba onya woye jaka e bolo go to a. Onya jaka e bolo go to a. Where the cough now? Ara no ni sisu na. Odun no dey possible na. Onya bo na ba na. Oru e ba hu. Abo nya ko ti be ya na dey. This motor, come up. Where is it? You get this motor. Motor ga walk you. No, no, here, eh? No, no, here, eh? They can say phone motor. Can't you want to get motor? Say motor. Can say phone motor. One can't you want to motor? I shift to it. Show good.
Yes, wonderful people of Biafra, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from here. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. And I know by now you people might have seen the news of our 4 brothers in Finland that was invited or arrested. Immediately our Prime Minister was invited for questioning. And then their cases has been dropped because of lack of evidence. Nigerian government was not able to provide any substantial evidence to hold them down, and their name has also been removed from the terrorist financiers list. So just to tell you that Nigeria has nothing against any Biafrans, just to tell you that Nigeria is a corrupt system and a corrupt country, just to tell you guys that Nigeria has nothing against Biafra. The only thing that they have against this government is that they don't want Biafra to be redeclared. And because Biafra has been redeclared, they go after our youth and start exterminating them and start locking them up in different prisons in the whole of Southeast. This is what they do. Your governors in the Southeast, your illegitimate governors in the Southeast, what they use them for is to use them to intimidate their own. And by doing that, they make sure that they use them to gag every youth in the Southeast. When you go to the Southeast today, you rarely find any youth in any village or in any community. Because of what? Because they are unaliving them, forcefully removing them, and imprisoning them. This is what they do in Biafran land today. Now, I want you to understand that General Christopher Musa is a very useless man. Very useless man indeed. This is a man that sat in his office and started telling Nigerians that documentations have been completed. Oh, we have submitted documentations against Simon Ekpa. Yet, General Christopher Musa is sitting in Nigeria. General Christopher Musa cannot come to Finland to defend all the documents that they submitted against people that they said they are terrorists, financiers, they are terrorist people.
So guys, you all heard about the story of Mazi Simon Ekpa, how the Finnish government has already indicted him of terrorism. They say that they are going to charge Simon Ekpa based on terrorism in how do they say it, in incitement or indictment. I don't even, that's how they place Simon Ekpa. Saying that they are going to take him to court, that the court will not try him on terrorism. This is the script written by the Nigerian state, given to them over there in Finland. They are going to charge Simon Ekpa based on terrorism. Well, our brother here, Stephen, is going to explain more about this case. Listen to him.
This is what they are doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Just because you don't want Nigeria to be divided. Just because you don't want the Igbos to live. You called Igbos a terrorist organization, and yet you are still fighting for them to remain in that same contraction called Nigeria. How does that work? We are in a bad marriage. We do not want to continue in this marriage. So the only option for us to have a peaceful coexistence is the division of Nigeria. And I'm telling you, nothing on this planet Earth would Tinubu do to keep Nigeria one again. Tinubu has destroyed the fabric nation of Nigeria. And we can never, not on this planet Earth, remain as one in that country. Biafra is completely gone. If you don't know it today. So if you are still dreaming that, Tinubu is working, he's not doing anything. Tinubu is not regarded. Now you locked up people in Finland. Those people have been released. Shame to you. It's a shame to the government of Nigeria. These are the same government that comes to tell you they are on top of the situation. Oh, they will soon be extradited. Today, Finland has confirmed it, that these people have done nothing wrong. There is no substantial evidence to continue to keep them in perpetual bondage, and they are all released. This is your country called Nigeria, a country that has no human laws. The only law that they have in Nigeria is gun and bullets. A country where people can no longer feed 3 square meals. A country that children of 9, 10, 8 years are hawking on the streets, and the street boys are taking advantage of them. A country that no children is in any good school today. A country that cannot give their citizens good education. A country that does not have light, common electricity they don't have. I don't know how you guys got to get this name called Giant of Africa. I'm telling you the truth. That is the country that Tinubu is ruling. Tinubu is your president today as we speak. There is no kind of corruption I've never seen in my life under this Tinubu's administration. There is no kind of corruption, I'm telling you. No kind of corruption. You see, I want to tell the Nigerians this. You see the arrest, the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya will completely dissolve Nigeria. I'm telling you people this. You people are thinking maybe we are just here creating content. It will destroy Nigeria. And illegally trying that man in courts, you don't know what you're doing to yourself. You think the world is not watching you? Now, the same Finland has told their people not to travel to Nigeria because Nigeria is one of the deadliest countries in the world. That is what Finland told their citizens. Poverty rate in Nigeria is skyrocketing, and yet you call yourself Giant of Africa. Finland told their citizens the poverty rate in Nigeria is top notch. Anywhere in the world, don't go to Nigeria because it's not safe. You are quick to call indigenous. Yes, and somebody asked me, they will tag you as ipob. I am an IPOB member, indigenous people of Biafra. Biafra is my nation, so I'm not hiding from it. I am not running away from it. I am a Biafran. I am a Biafran. It's not when I say it, people that are selling vehicles will stop selling vehicles. No. It is not when I say it, pregnant women will never give birth again in Nigeria or in the world. It's not when I say it, I will not go home again. No. I am a Biafran, an IPOB member. I am not a Nigerian. So get that into your score. You know, somebody was telling me, oh, they will come for you as an IPOB member. What is the first question you should ask yourself? What is the meaning of IPOB? What is the meaning of IPOB? It means the indigenous people of Biafra. That is what the Nigerian government went to. I don't know who advises these people. They went to bring court injunction or whatever they call it and proscribe IPOB, a terrorist organization. And you want those nations to still stand with, to still be in Nigeria. You people are mad in the head. You called me a terrorist. You called all the Igbo race a terrorist, and you want us to be. No wonder you are treating us the way you are treating us. No wonder Iboni was praying pounds, and you went to arrest him. Now you cannot go after Tompolo. You can't go after him. You cannot go after Okoyo's children, but you can arrest an Igbo man. Because Buhari called us a dot in a circle. And you are trying to intimidate us by every means necessary. But this is the end of it. This war you have started in Finland, wallahi, you come and finish it. Because I know Tinubu does not have any edge over what is happening. No wonder. Oh, bring him back home. Extradite him. The extradition was everywhere. But today you can't come there to prove to them what you said against him. You are even afraid because you don't know the next thing that is coming. Finland released this statement yesterday, released our people on Monday, on the 14th. And you people are panicking already. You don't know what is coming, do you? Now you left Nnamdi Kanu in perpetual bondage because you called him a terrorist. And up till now, 4 years, 5 years, still counting, you have not been able to come up with one thing that this man has done. Yet you allow him to be wasting in detention. Tinubu, remember, nothing lasts forever. All of you that gagged Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that kidnapped him from Kenya, nothing lasts forever. Nothing, not even this your presidency will last forever. I'm telling you the truth. Ali Bongo was shouting, shout, please make noise, make noise, make noise. Let the world come to my rescue. Every one of you will be in that position one day. I'm telling you the truth. Because of your impunity, because you are in power. So nobody must speak against your government. If people come to protest hunger in Nigeria, you arrest them. If people speak up against the evil and the liquidation of the country, you arrest them. If people come out to say electoral reforms must be, implemented in Nigeria, you go after them. No freedom of speech in Nigeria, and yet you want us to be in that same contraction. Can you see how unreasonable Nigerian government is? But you see this case in Finland. Musa kept lying. I have submitted documents. The document has been submitted. I will still be coming back. But yet, your is it the I can't remember who said in Nigeria some days ago that Nigeria has no extradition treaty with Finland. I think 2 days ago. I think it was the Attorney of Federation that said it. The Attorney of Federation of Nigeria that said it. If my memory serves me right, I think it's Attorney of Federation. But why were you lying? Then you have submitted document. All you do is just deceit. All you do is just use money to bring Biafran with declaration down. But it's not going to work for you. It's not going to work. You went as far as, trying to bribe somebody to bribe US to call Madam Ngozi Arabueze a terrorist so that FBI will come for her arrest. Can you see how shameful you people are? Whatever you are doing behind doors, closed doors, will always come to us in open secret, because darkness and light can never meet. Nigeria is darkness. Biafrans are lights to the world and to the entire African nation. That is why they wanted to unalive Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but God saved him. And that man is the one destroying Nigeria. Against all the international laws, Nigeria has flouted them, including African Union charters. Nigeria has flouted them, including EU, including ICC. Nigeria flouted all those laws. They don't care. All they want is they want to remain one, to continue to steal and to milk Nigerians.
So guys, after listening to Stephen Cross, what do you think? I mean, can you let us interact in our comment section? What exactly do you think is the better way to follow this Simon Ekpa's case and Mazi Nnamdi's case as well? And the things that are going on in Biafran land, or more, kedu ha ga-eme, kedu the way out, kedu otu a ga-esi wee mee kudo wee dị everywhere. Ka anyị kparịta nkata na our comment section. Daarụ na ụmụnne m, daarụ na ndị be anyị, daarụ na ndị ọma ndị gere m ntị, ndị na-elele vidio ekenecha m unu ncha niile. Biko no tụsanụ vidio, share this video ka ọ gaa viral. Ka anyị nwee more people ga comment. Let us know what way is the best to follow. We all love you. From the stables of Magnetic Chicks TV, we all love you. Bye.
Of their hard-earned money. That's why somebody can put 50, 100 million in their account and those money will disappear without any trace. Money that you kept in your bank account will just disappear, and they continue to tell you stories. And then that is the same country you want us to remain. People like us will go abroad and suffer and come back and put money in Nigerian bank. They will tell us stories. That is the kind of country you want me to continue to remain in. No, we have a voice. We can speak. We are in a country that freedom of speech is not a crime. So I will say it the way it is. As long as I didn't tell anybody to go and carry gun and start unaliving people. As long as I didn't tell anybody to carry bomb and start unaliving people. The truth must be said. Nigerian government is a terrorist and they're terrorizing the Southeast and the government of United States of Biafra. They are all terrorists. These are the people that reintegrate non-terrorists to their army, to their military, and send them to the Southeast to commit mayhems and havoc. And these people come, they unalive with impunity, without any remorse. That is a country you want me to continue to remain as one. No, it can't. We are not terrorists. Tell me if in any place in the world where an Igbo man has carried bomb to bomb a building. Igbos are known for their, quiet nature and business oriented. That is how they know Igbos for, because that is what Nigerian government made us to look like. We were the one in the affairs of Nigeria, making sure that this country is okay. But they removed us and placed us in that position. And we went there and did marvelous things where they wanted us to fail. They gave us market. Oh, yeah, don't sell market. Leave anything government. They are the one that made us to look like that, so that they would think that we are business oriented. No, we are technocrats. But they kept us in that place and felt that we are going to succumb to pressure of poverty. But look at how we are skyrocketing. After the war, they gave us 20 pounds. But today, nobody in Nigeria is as rich as an Igbo man. Despite the fact most of us don't have sense. Biafrans, on this note, I want you all to understand that nothing will deter us from succeeding in this our declaration. Our Prime Minister will be joining us very soon because Nigerian government has no case against him in Finland. They are even running from coming to that same Finland to present their case or to defend their case. They thought that they would have extradited Mazi Simon and that would have been it with all their rubbish shenanigans and whatever. So let us keep watching Finland and see what they're going to come up with in some few days to come, because we know that Mazi Simon Ekpa's case will be the next, and we know that he will defeat Nigeria in any court, international court in the world. Nigeria cannot commit a crime and at the same time be a judge on his own case. It's not possible. Thank you, Biafran, and may God bless Madam Ngozi Orabueze for what you are doing for Biafrans and for the things that you are doing for us to make sure that we are all safe. God bless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wherever he is. May God strengthen you and give you more grace to your elbow. God bless our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. May God bless you and give you more strength to continue to push and defend Biafra in international world. Thank you, and may God bless you.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.